Yes, standing waves are, see, this is normally the wave is like this. On water, you saw the waves on the water. Okay, whenever you throw a stone. Okay. When you take a rope and you move, array the crust and draw, you have you seen the rope? Okay, so that is your crust and the draw on the rope. And on the rubber band, that is your crest and the draw. Rubber band, first it will form the crest, then it will go down, then it will form the draw, then it will go up. Same, have you seen this guitar wire? No? Somebody who is playing the guitar. So some wire will go up and down. So that is your standing wave. Standing wave do not go just like progressive wave. It do not go anywhere. So that is why it is called a standing wave. It shows every characteristic of wave. So because electron shows the wave like nature, so that is a wave here. Okay. So we are taking two cases. Okay, one is your wave which has the total length of 2 lambda, and another is your 2.5 lambda. Okay, 2.5 lambda. Now this wave will exist on the circle, and this wave do not exist on the circle. Okay, this wave of total length of 2.5 lambda do not exist. Okay, do not exist here on the circle. Circle is your orbit. Okay, and it will exist. Okay, so it will form a constructive interference. Okay, it will form a constructive interference, basically constructive interference, and this will give a destructive interference. Okay, this will give the destructive interference, so it will not exist. Okay, now one by one we will see how it happens. Okay, so first case is your 2 lambda. Okay, so that is your 2 lambda wave. Okay, now when we will make the 2 lambda wave, suppose this is your 2 lambda. Okay, this one. Now suppose this is your point A at the starting, and this is your point B, C, D, E. Okay, this is your crest, and this is your trough. Okay, now we are joining A and E to make a circle. To make a circle. Okay, so let's make a circle. Okay. Okay, so there's a circle is electron here. Okay, now how many points are there? See, this is A to B, B to C, C to D, and D to E. So total circumference is 2 lambda. So this total is your 2 lambda. So circumference is 2 lambda. Okay, circumference is 2 lambda. Okay, so how many divisions we have? 1 division, 2, 3, and 4. So 4 equal divisions we have, because 2 lambda. So that is your lambda by 2, lambda by 2, lambda by 2, and lambda by 2. So I'm just writing 4 equal division of lambda by 2. So I'm writing 4 equal division. So here I'm writing this. So I'm making 4 equal division of lambda by 2. Okay. So this is point A, this point A, and I'm joining the point A and E. So here also the point E will lie at this juncture, because I have joined them. Okay, it is a straight line, and I made a circle of it. If you have any doubt here, you can ask. Okay, Patel, yes. Harsh, Aparajita, Aditya. Any doubt? Okay. So here, this is the circle I made. Now A to B, okay, A to B, this is crest. Okay, crest I am making outside the circle. Okay, crest is outside the circle or orbit, and the trough is inside the circle. Okay, so that I am making. So from A to B, so this is your B, C, D, and E. So this is your B. Okay, here it is B at this point. This is your C, this is your D, and this is your E. Okay. Now the crest here, A to B, we have crest. So I'm making the crest. So that is your crest. Okay, this is crest. Then B to C, trough. Trough is inside the circle. So I'm making it inside the circle like this. Okay, sorry, use the black one. Okay, so that is your trough. Trough is inside the circle. Okay, so that is your B to C. Here B to C is a trough. Then again C to D is a crest. So that is a crest. Okay, so that is a crest here. Yeah. Okay, that is a crest. And D to E, it is a trough. Okay, this is the trough that is going inside. So okay, so wave started at A. Yes. No, no, you can do opposite. No problem. You can, yeah. You can do opposite. Okay. Now the wave started traveling here. Okay, and it is going like this. So after coming to the end point, that is your E, it is traveling on the same path. Okay, it is traveling on the same path. So when it started traveling on the same path again, okay, so this new wave, not the new wave, it is the same wave from the E. So from E, if it is starting again, okay, so new wave which is starting again from the E point, it will form the crest here. If you have any doubt, please ask. It will form the crest here, then it will form the trough here, it will form the crest, and it will go on the same path. Okay, if you have any doubt, then ask. Any doubt? Okay, so what is this, constructive or destructive interference? Is this constructive or destructive interference? Aparajita? Constructive. Because the same wave is tracing the path. Okay, so same path it is tracing. So from E, if the new wave start, it will form the crest, which was of the previous wave. Here it is the crest from A to B. So from E, the new wave will come. So it is tracing the same path. So obviously it will have the crest also here at this point. Okay, so all of the process will get repeated. Okay, so it is a constructive interference. Okay, it is much more complex than that, but for you at the level of advanced, it's up to here only. Okay. Now second wave I am taking. Second case is your this one. The wave, this will form the destructive interference. So this is 2.5 lambda. Now the second is your second case is here, that is your 2.5 lambda. Now I am making a wave here again. So here it is. So this is your 2.5 lambda. So I am making points here, that is your A, B, C, D, E. So we are doing the same thing, joining the A and F to make a circle. Okay. So we are making a circle here. Okay, that is a circle, and this is your positive. Now we have 5 equal parts up to here, A to F. We have this lambda by 2, lambda by 2, lambda by 2. So we have 5 equal parts. So I'm making 5 equal parts here. Okay. 5 equal parts on the circumference. So circumference is 2.5 lambda. Circumference is here. Is 2.5 lambda. So that is it. Now starting we have made A and we have joined A and F. So that is your A and F. A and F. Here it is A and F. So it will be B, C, D, E, and F. Okay. That one. Okay. So that is your D here. Okay. Now again the same thing. So that is your crest, and this is your trough. Okay, this is your crest and trough. Here what we are saying that we are making the same thing. The crest will I am making outside the circle, trough is inside the circle. Okay. So that is it. Now I am making the wave. So here it is from A to B it is crest. Okay. B to C it is trough. A to B, B to C. Then C to D it is crest. Okay. D to E it is what? Trough. Then E to F is crest. Okay. D to E is crest. Okay, this one. And then it is traveling in this. So here the problem arises. Now we see this. This is your crest, 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 and this is your trough. Okay, here what happens that the wave starts to travel like this. Okay, the wave starts to travel, and when it reaches the end point, that is your F. Okay, end point is F. So when it reaches the end point, it is not traveling on the same path, that is on the crest. It is making the trough here. Okay, this is the trough here. It is making the trough. Okay, so that is the problem with this. So if I am taking 2.5 lambda wave, so it is giving a destructive interference. I told you that in the destructive interference, the crest and the trough, they lie over each other. Okay, so that is the problem with the destructive interference. So crest and trough, they lie over each other here. So that is why this wave of 2.5 lambda on a circle, it doesn't exist. So it is giving a destructive interference to us. Okay, this is a destructive interference. This is a destructive interference. Okay, so that's why this wave doesn't exist. Okay, there is no wave like this. Now these two, have you understood this one? 2 lambda and 2.5 lambda. Everybody? Okay, any doubt? Sorry, any doubt in this? Okay, so this is now what happens here. Okay, so there can be any example. If I take the 3 lambda, suppose. Okay, so for your understanding, I'm taking one more. Okay, so let's take one more. Yes. No. Here destructive. 2.5 lambda is destructive. Okay, 2 lambda. Yes, this one. Yes. That's why I will ask you the conclusion. Suppose I am taking a wave of 1.5 lambda, suppose. Wave of 1.5 lambda like this. Okay. This is the last wave I am doing. So I will ask the conclusion from you people, because here you will give me something. So that is your lambda by 2. So that is your 1.5 lambda. Suppose this is the point A, B, C, D. So we are join A and D. Okay. So let's do this one and give your conclusions. Okay, so suppose this is a circle. Okay, so there are 3 equal lambda by 2 positions. Lambda by 2, lambda by 2, lambda by 2. Okay, so 3 equal divisions. So we have joined A and D. So this is your A and D at same point, and this is B and this is C. Okay, so let's construct the wave. From A to B, it is crest, and here it is trough, B to C. So A to B, let's take the difference. So A to B, it is your crest. Okay, B to C is your trough. Okay, C to D is the crest. C to D is the crest. So let's form the crest here. Okay, so my drawing is not that much good. So there. Okay, so it is the crest. Now you see this. Should take the same thing. So here it is like this. Okay, so that is the crest. Now you see the traveling, how the wave is traveling. It is going from A to B and then it is traveling. Okay, now you see it is going here, and at this point, at the point D, it is taking this path. It is going down. Okay, here, and here it is making a crest. Okay, here it is making a crest, because finally when it comes here to D, it is making a crest. So if it is making a crest here, what type of interference it is? Constructive or destructive? Yeah, so that is a destructive interference. Destructive interference. Okay, this is a destructive interference. So if you take 1.5 lambda, it is a destructive interference. Wave will not exist. Okay, there is no wave. or there is no existence of the wave or this type of wave. If we take 2.5 lambda, it is not okay working out, but for 2 lambda it is working out. So please give me your conclusion. Okay, what is your conclusion about this? 1.5 lambda, 2.5 lambda, and 2 lambda. It might be wrong means what is wrong? Okay, Aditi Choksi, Diti, yes. Yeah, it is. Yeah, wavelength should be in. Yes, in this. Okay, so we can have only particular value of wave. Okay, particular value of wavelength to say. Only then it will exist. We cannot take any random value like 2.5 or 1.5. So on a circle or a orbit, so in a orbit, only whole number of okay total length of wave okay will fit, or it will give constructive interference. Interference. Okay, so here what is, so that is your statement, but mathematically a wave of lambda comma 2 lambda comma 3 lambda comma 4 lambda dot 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 n lambda will give constructive interference. Okay, okay, n is a whole number. It is a whole number. It cannot be negative also. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and all that. So these type of total waves, whether it is 2 lambda, if I take the 3 lambda wave, okay, I have not taken the 3 lambda here. It will take more time. Okay. So when I take 3 lambda, 4 lambda, or like n lambda wave, it will give a constructive interference. Suppose, okay, and any other value of n will give destructive interference. Will give destructive interference. Okay, any other value of n will give destructive interference. So this is this. So 1.5 lambda is 1.5 is not a whole number, 2.5 is not a whole number. Okay, so all this will give a destructive interference. So that is called as quantization of the radius. Okay, radius is what? That is circumference, basically not the radius. I'm talking about circumference. Circumference is, if it is 2.5 lambda, it will not work. Circumference when it is 2 lambda, 3 lambda, 4 lambda, 5 lambda, so it will work here. Okay, so this will work. So it means for a 2 lambda, there is some 2 lambda circumference. There is a particular radius. Okay, for 2 lambda, there will be particular radius, and for that one. Okay, so yes, no problem. So the circumference the circumference of orbit can only be n lambda. Okay, that can be only be equal to your n lambda. So radius can be 2, because 2 pi r is your circumference, and so I should not write like this. Okay. And we have this 2 pi r uh, 2 pi r is equal to n lambda. I can write like this: 2 pi r is the circumference and n lambda is the circumference that is based on the wavelength, on the wave, that is 2 lambda or 3 lambda, like that. Okay, so because that is a 2 lambda, circumference is 2 lambda. Okay, so this is circumference. So radius is equal to n lambda upon 2 pi. Okay, or we can write lambda is equal to 2 pi r upon n. Okay, this is one thing we can draw. So that is our conclusion. That is our conclusion. So lambda can be equal to 2 pi r upon n. N is what? N is a whole number. Okay. Now here n is also called as orbit number. Whatever we see in the energy and radius, n is orbit number, and that is also a whole number, because orbit can be 1, 2, 3, 4. It cannot be 2.5 orbit or like that. So both will exist like a number. Now lambda is equal to 2 pi r upon n. So that is your first equation. Another equation is your de Broglie equation. So what is de Broglie? De Broglie equation is lambda is equal to h upon n. So this is another equation. Now what I told you in the starting, that this formula is validated by the interference of the wave, okay, constructive and destructive interference. MVR is equal to NH upon 2 pi. Now when MVR is equal to NH upon 2 pi, so how can we say that is your second? Okay. Now lambda is equal to 2 pi r by n. So I can write for this 2 pi r by n is equal to h upon mv, and you can write mvr is equal to nh upon 2 pi. So hence the proof is here. Okay, so that is the proof. That is the proof of this one. Okay, anybody having any doubt, you can ask. Got this one? So this is the proof. So there can be only whole number of this one that we just we studied in the previous classes. So this can be a whole number. MVR is equal to NH upon 2 pi. This was not proved until the de Broglie equation and all that was discovered and all that. So this was correct formula, but you know it was discovered by all these things. Okay, all these things. Okay, so in the Bohr orbit there can be only complete waves. Okay, these are called as complete waves. Another, okay, sometimes they give you different type of this one. Okay, so these are the complete wave. Complete wave means 360 degree. So one crest and one trough, it is your 360 degree, then again 360 degree. So it can exist as a complete wave only. Okay, so in the Bohr radius, Bohr orbit, I should say Bohr orbit, only complete wave will give constructive interference. That is same thing, but there are so many statements for this. Okay. Okay, this. So sometimes they ask you to find the radius and the wavelength is given and all these things. So you can do that one. Okay. So there are some numericals based on this that we will do later. But first you understand this, and if you have any doubt, then you can ask. Okay, if you have any doubt, then you can ask. Arsh, Sid, Patel, Yash, no problem. Prince Patel, Kush Rawal, Diti, Aparajita, Harsh Mehta. Okay, so this thing, have you understood this? Okay, so my drawing is not that much good, but you understand where is crest and draw and all that. This one. Okay. Now I want to give a brief idea of the Heisenberg uncertainty principle because there's only some time left. So let's go to another topic that is your uncertainty in measurement. Uncertainty in measurement. Okay, this one. Now for subatomic particles, okay, uh, the measurement of two complex conjugate. Okay, complex conjugate, I will explain you what is complex conjugate. Okay, is inaccurate or uncertain or errorful, whatever you want to call it. Have you studied the error in physics? Error in the measurement? Yeah, error in the measurement. Okay, so that will come here. So let's talk about the complex conjugate. So there are in the level of 11, 12, there are two complex conjugate. Complex conjugate are the two physical properties. These are physical property. Okay, complex means because they have joined each other. Okay, conjugate is your this there is a pair like that you can call this conjugate. Basically, complex conjugate is these are the two physical properties. They are joined and they cannot be separated. Okay. So at the level of 11, 12, so we have to study two complex conjugates. These are basically the physical property. Two complex conjugate. One is your okay. So one is your energy and time. So energy and time are the complex conjugate. And second is position and momentum. Okay, position and momentum. So position momentum. Okay, 99% question if it comes from the uncertainty principle. Okay, it comes on the position and momentum. Very less 1% you will see on energy and time. Okay, it's very less. Only few times they have asked. Okay, but in medical exam, in JEE mains, only this position and momentum you will see. Energy and time is not included in JEE mains. It is for advanced only. That will study. NEET medical is NEET here. Position momentum is there for NEET. Its energy and time is not there. Okay. That I am explaining. This one. Complex conjugate. So let's take position and momentum as the complex conjugate. Okay. Complex conjugate. Yeah. Okay. This uncertainty in measurement. I forgot the scientist's name. It was given by Heisenberg. It is given by Heisenberg. Okay. So it is called as Heisenberg uncertainty principle. And Albert Einstein was not, in his whole lifetime, he was against the Heisenberg because this doesn't make sense to Albert Einstein. So let's find out what it is. Okay. For subatomic particles, okay, this applies only to subatomic particles. Okay. Subatomic particles like electron, proton, neutrons, water molecules, or even atoms. Okay. Momentum, or we can say force of the new photon. Okay. Force of photon can change their position and velocity. Okay. This is the problem. That's why this uncertainty principle arises. Now suppose you are seeing your laptop screen. Okay. So photons are coming from the laptop screen, and you can see you are seeing the bottle, pen, pencil, whatever. So photons are striking on the objects and they are coming to your eyes when you are seeing them. But the photons are very, okay, they do not have that much mass that I told you. Their mass is very, very small. While in the velocity, while in the traveling, they have some mass. So mass of the photon is very, very less. So they cannot, okay, displace something. They cannot displace the large object like books or whatever the objects we have. But the subatomic particles can be displaced by the photon. I told you that in the photoelectric effect, okay, in the photoelectric effect, what happens that photons ejects the electrons out of the metal. Okay, if there is sufficient energy of photon, it ejects the this electron. So that is the problem. This is the major problem while observing the this position and the velocity. Why this is the problem? Now suppose if you take this is your quantum, okay, this called as okay, quantum problem. Okay, this is your quantum problem. Quantum problem and classical problem are a bit different. In the quantum problems, we don't see any classical thing. Classical means Newtonian physics, physical to MA and all that. So these applications, these equations doesn't work on these subatomic particles, okay, because they are very, very small. Okay. Now this is a quantum problem, but we can take a classical analogy. Okay, if we take a classical analogy, classical analogy means something similar to this thing. Okay. Now suppose there is a, let's say, a basketball, or we can take anything. Okay. So let's take comparable. So because the force of the photon is comparable to the mass of the subatomic particles, electron, proton, that's why they are ejecting. Now if there is a, say, one tennis ball, let's take one tennis ball. Okay, it's fine. And we can see this ball by throwing a, let's say, a ping pong ball of same size. Okay, not a ping pong ball. Let's take two tennis balls. Okay. This is your ball A and this is your ball B. Okay. Now the condition is we can see the ball A if the ball B strikes the ball A. Okay. Only this one. So that is a classical analogy. We can see the electron when the photon strikes the electron or the proton or the neutron, whatever it is. Now, if on the x-axis, suppose this is your y-axis and this is your x-axis. On the x-axis, there is a particular position. Let's take it as x1. The ball A is lying. Now, when ball B will strike, okay, when it will strike the ball A, so ball A will change its position. Suppose it changes position here and it's come and stop here at the position x2. Okay, so ball A changes its position after the ball B strikes. Okay, it absorbs its energy and it gets slightly displaced. Now, if an observer is observing, so observer can only see, suppose this is your observer, okay, he can only see the ball A when ball B will strike on this. But when ball B will strike, ball A will change its position to here. So that was the initial position, okay, that is the final position. But the observer will observe the final position here, okay, not here, because it has the energy of the ball B has displaced the ball A from x1 to x2 position. Okay, so original position was x1, observed position, yes, which one? See, the condition is observer, suppose there is you, the Yash Patel can observe ball A only if ball B strikes the ball A. Okay, when ball B strikes the ball A, due to energy of ball B, this ball A changes its position and comes and stops at x2 position. This I am saying. Yes, Patel, understood that one? So observer is observing the ball A at x2 position, but its original position was x1. Okay, but the problem is that you cannot see ball A until and unless ball B will strike. And when ball B will strike ball A, it will change its position. Okay, so the error in the measurement, error, yes, not the real one. So error in measurement of position is x2 minus x1 or the delta x. That is called as the error. Okay, understood that one? So that is the problem. The problem is that photon energy and the electron energy, they are comparable. So it can displace this one. Photon cannot displace the bottle or a pen, whatever you are saying. So this, whatever you are seeing, these objects are very large. So we cannot have the same thing, quantum problem, in the classical world. But this happens in the quantum world. So that is your error in the measurement of position. So position, when we measure the position, it is the error. Now coming on the momentum. Okay, what is momentum? Mass into velocity. Now mass doesn't change. Okay, suppose electron has some mass, it doesn't change. Okay, now if we talk about the momentum, that is your P is equal to mv. So mass remain constant if electron is traveling or not traveling, doesn't matter. Until unless it's traveling comparable to the speed of light, but that rarely happens. So velocity only changes. So we will see the velocity. What is the problem with the velocity? Okay. So I will take your 5 minutes because then it's your math class. So that is the same thing that we will see. Okay, suppose again, okay, suppose let's take the ball A. So that is ball A. It is traveling with the velocity of, let's say, 500 meter per second. Okay, it is traveling. Okay, it's traveling on this x-axis. Okay, with some velocity. V is the velocity that is there. If I want to measure its velocity, okay, so how we measure the velocity? How do we measure the velocity of something? Array, tell me now. Yeah, distance traveled by the time. So suppose this is position x1, this is position x2. So velocity is change in position x2 minus x1 divided by the time taken, t. Okay, so we measure its velocity at v1, then we measure the x1 position, we measure the x2 position, what is the change, and we see in what time it is traveling this x2 minus x1 distance. Suppose this is your delta x distance traveled in time t. Now again the same thing will happen when, because I have to see where is the initial position, x1 is there or some other position. So if I want to see its position, okay, I have to use another ball B, okay, another ball B here, which will strike this ball so that I can see where it is at initial position x. But when it strikes, it will change its position. Okay. Also, after striking, because the ball is in motion, it can change the velocity because they have the same in a comparable energy. Okay, both are tennis balls. So when a tennis ball strikes another tennis ball, which is going in some direction with some velocity, it will change the velocity. Okay, so what happens that first thing that its velocity is changed, another thing is position. So position, you know how it is changed. So whenever we want to see the position, basically the position is the problem. So we have to strike the ball B with the ball A, and due to this its velocity and position both will change. Okay, if it is traveling. So that is the problem. We cannot measure the exact velocity because whenever the photon strikes the electron, if the electron is suppose traveling in this direction, suppose this is the electron, it is traveling in this direction with 100 meter per second, and the photon is coming, that is your photon, okay, it is coming in this direction, and here the collision occurs between these two, so that is your collision. So what will happen? Electron velocity will somewhat decrease. Electron velocity is now 90 meter per second because they are colliding in the opposite direction. So its velocity decreases. Okay, I'm just giving the example. So its velocity will also change, position will also change, everything will change. Okay, so that's why momentum and position, they are called as a complex conjugate. Okay, we will discuss it tomorrow in detail also. We cannot measure them with the accuracy. There is some error. Okay, the measure of the complex conjugate, measure means the measure of the quantity, magnitude, whatever you want to say, is uncertain. Okay, it is inaccurate or it is errorful. So that is called as uncertainty in the measurement. Okay, have you understood the basic thing about the uncertainty, how the uncertainty can? So original speed is 100 meter per second, but the problem is we are measuring only 90 if we can measure it directly. We cannot measure it directly. But suppose if we can measure it directly, the velocity what we will measure is 90, but the original velocity is 100. So change in velocity delta V is your 10 minus 10 meter per second. Okay, so that is your error. Okay, this is called as error in the measurement. Okay, so we'll discuss it tomorrow in much more detail. Okay, so now you can leave the meeting and study the PDF. Okay, everybody, if you have any doubt, you can ask, or else you can leave. Bye.